Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 17 of Shogun's social media podcast. We've got a very special guest, Southampton Bloggers. What an exciting episode. Guest number 4 or 5? Guest number 4?
Yeah, 4, I think.
Oh, man, this is going to be so good. So we got a very special guest going to be talking about their experience in Southampton, how they like to take photos, share amazing content about this city. So just to recap, my name is George, the senior social media manager at Shogun. We have
Freddie.
Nice. And we also have a special guest,
Alice.
Wonderful. Good stuff. So, Alice, could you please tell everybody, what is Southampton Bloggers, what is your account, and why is it so special?
So, Southampton Bloggers is an Instagram account that basically showcases the city. It didn't start like that, though. It started as a way for us to bring different bloggers and influencers together. And it's just evolved over time, kind of because of the pandemic a little bit. We had to evolve it when everything was shut, and we couldn't just let the page be stagnant. And that's why it has a much more bigger focus on the city now.
Collaborative, community.
Yeah.
That's something that's like a big appeal, I think, is that bloggers, plural. You know, Southampton Bloggers, plural, not Southampton Blogger.
Yeah.
So is that right? Something that you're looking at other organisations, other people, and saying, can we collab? Can we tag each other?
Yeah, and we obviously have quite a number of bloggers on our database, I suppose, our books really. So if different brands were looking for influencers to go to their events or go to their opening evenings, and we would provide that outreach as a service as well.
And what would you say, the elevator pitch, I suppose it's the American term, the lift pitch, I don't know, what would you say in the UK? The elevator pitch, put your account in a sentence.
I think we stick with the blogger taste. It's very 2012.
Okay.
And we were created 2014, so we've been doing this for quite a long time now. But it's very much just putting a spotlight on something that's important to us as well.
In Southampton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're posting things, visiting shops. Mm-hmm. You today or yesterday went to Costa and you did a real. Yeah. Where you're saying, this is the new little Christmas cups in Costa.
Yeah.
So is that stuff
Christmas
like
gifted. It's a bit of everything really. A lot of it focuses on independent businesses in Southampton. A lot of restaurants, coffee shops. We do a bit of everything really. Sunday we were with Carnival Cruise Line for their new ship in the city. It is literally a bit of everything. Anything that could be interested, which works really well because it hits so many different people.
Yeah. Just on that, how do you decide what to post? Because Southampton, there's a lot to cover. You've got, like you said, the cruise, football, independent businesses, big businesses. What have you learned so far in terms of, this is going to work for my audience?
There is no plan. And there is I don't have anything set up. I don't pre-plan anything.
This is like looking behind the curtain.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting.
It's completely different to my own stuff because obviously I'm a lifestyle blogger myself, and a lot of that is planned, what goes out each day. But Southampton Bloggers is very much what have I got in my camera roll, and let's stick it up. And also I'm in the city a lot. I go to a lot of different events and openings, so I always have something, or my friend says I have a knack of stumbling across things in the city as things are setting up, and that's just kind of how it's worked. Again, with the cruise thing, when we've had ships coming on maiden voyages, we've been able to get the photos straight away, and different events, bottom of West Quay always do different things, and it's just, I think in a way it's pure luck that I just happen to be around. I always joke to everybody, I'm always around somewhere, and that's kind of like how the content comes from things.
That's really interesting. That's like some musician or something saying, I just threw this song together. And it's like I was listening to a podcast about an amazing podcast called Revisionist History. And they were talking about the song Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen and how he wrote the song over like 2 years or something. Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley. Yeah, the original was by Leonard Cohen. Bob Dylan was talking to him and said, how long did it take to write you? And he said, 2 years. And then Leonard asked Bob, okay, how long did it take to write this? And Bob said 2 minutes. Because some people do it. Yeah. Some people just like stumble into these pieces of art and go, I just threw it together. Whereas some people like to form these long form plans and stuff. It sounds like you're a Bob Dylan.
Potentially.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people that they need to plan, especially when I say this to other people with my own stuff, they're like, do you not have any, I'm planning for Christmas. And I'm like, I'm going to cowboy it. And it's just going to see what happens. And thankfully it kind of works.
I love that. I thought you'd have a master spreadsheet, months,
do you know
campaigns.
What? When you said about the question, I was like, I'm not even going to have anything that insightful to say on that, because I do I've got a whole camera roll of different things in Southampton. Like a photo we put up at Queen's Park with a little background on the park went up this morning. It's been really popular, and it's something I took randomly 2 weeks ago, just walking through the park on the way back from soft play.
I'm in shock. I am in shock a bit. I thought this is like, but that's why it works, I think.
Yeah, it does work.
It comes across as well, like you went to the Garden Society, I saw.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan this year, got to admit.
Okay.
But no, really, really interesting.
That is very interesting. Yeah, like the kind of throwing together. Do you reckon that in itself is a draw for your content, where people feel like, oh, this is natural, this isn't constructed, this
it's just much more organic. What we're putting out is much more organic. People respond to organic posts. And while we do a lot of collaborations in the city, obviously you can see that from when we declare on the posts, but there's nothing seems to do any better than the other, whether it's a like an opening where we've, say, gifted a meal or something, they still kind of hit quite well. But yeah, it's just organic and whatever. I feel like posting at 7:30 in the morning.
That's really good. Do you think that if you did plan, it would hinder the page? So say if you said in 3 weeks, I'm going to go to this garden centre and do this, because obviously stuff changes, stuff's evolved. Do you think that it would have a negative impact on the page?
I feel like it does for me personally. So my son's just started school. I have a young daughter as well. And I thought if I plan Southampton Bloggers a bit more and I plan my own stuff a bit more, maybe I'll get a bit. I lasted 7 days. I just couldn't. I was like, no, I need to just have free creative reign, just to put up whatever works that morning. And for us, it just works so much better.
Yeah, I love that. There's a purity to that. And it's interesting to us as a social media marketing agency, because we develop strategies and we say to our clients, okay, posting this and this and this, and then this, and then this and this will make this.
Yeah.
And that's part. But, we have the data to prove that works with our clients. Your strategy is not data, it's feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's cool. Is that some advice that you'd say you'd give to future people, or is that not really advice you can give?
I don't think it is advice I can give. But I've always said, if someone wants to start doing something, just do it and see how it goes. And obviously we've got the insights on our Instagram accounts that we work off. Like, I know what works when I do just throw out anything. And obviously timing's always a massive thing with Southampton. Southampton Bloggers works perfectly if I post in the morning. If I do it on my own account, it has to be evening, otherwise it doesn't hit. It's really interesting. But then I love the insights of it. I find them fascinating.
Is there any apps or programs that you'd recommend to people starting out, just leaning on George's point? So I know you do a lot of video content. Obviously, some people would jump on a laptop. There's obviously hundreds of apps that you can use now. What's your approach to that sort of stuff?
So I use all free apps. I use InShot to create all our reels and all our editing and all our transitions. I use Canva, again, the free version, to create all the covers, because all our reels have covers. I just find it works so much better, especially if you go onto a city page and you kind of want to look for something specific. And I use Visco to just up the brightness. All our photos are very subtly edited, literally brightness, straightened a little bit, a bit of clarity, and that's it. There's no other editing on our photos, but it's all free apps. It's InShot, Canva, and Visco.
What's interesting is you say there isn't really a strategy, but you've just described to us how you need a time of day to post correctly.
Oh, yeah.
And you have about
insights.
3 apps that you use as like a store, as a routine.
Yeah.
So maybe there is no strategy.
Editing-wise. But then I suppose I've never really looked at it like that.
Sure.
Because it's in a different box for me, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. What's I know you said you didn't really care much about the data, but you said that you look at the insights.
Yeah.
Is there anything that struck you where you go, oh my God, I've got a big audience in France or something? You know what I mean?
Not really. I kind of pay attention with the hashtags, what's being saved, and what's popular going off that, really. So the hashtags occasionally hit, sometimes they don't.
Right. No, that's fair. Yeah, I always think that can be fascinating to look at stats, because for a period I was developing marketing and videos for a jewelers, and something like the first most popular country that we were popular in was United Kingdom, then America, then something like some African country.
Oh, really?
It was really strange, really kind of shockingly, number 3 was some country in Africa.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So sometimes you can see that stuff from the data that you'd never really guess. No, that's really cool. Is there a rule about, not necessarily strategy what you post, but who you post with? Do you tag an account? Do you tag collaborators and then they say, oh, great, thanks for the tag? Or do they sometimes say, I don't know about you tagging us. Can you know what I mean? Like, do you ever encounter like
Yeah,
collaboratives?
No, never.
No, okay.
Everyone's always been. I think because a lot of what we do are independent businesses, they're new ventures. Everyone's always very positive with when we've posted stuff. Box Shop, for example, when Box Shop opened in West Quay, we were invited down by Jamie and Howard, and they were really we put a reel together. It went over 10K views. They were like really happy with what happened and what that did for them, because then for the few weeks after they were like, oh, we saw it on Southampton Bloggers, and so we thought we'd come in and try you guys.
Yeah.
So
you'd think that, wouldn't you? Because if it's an independent company, they'd want the exposure. It's just sometimes, have you ever encountered that? So you've never really had it where you've kind of like shot something a bit too sensitive, and they go, "Oh, you're not allowed to shoot a photo on that." Okay.
No, but I think I'm quite careful. I've been in business for so long that I'm quite careful of what I do show. I'm really quite particular about who's in the background. Like, I'd never remember, and you'll notice sometimes on my stories, if I share a photo in the city centre, I'll always put like emoji over people's faces.
Yeah,
because I don't know who they are. They might not want to be on social media, so I always hide like their faces with random emojis, usually smiley faces. Same with children as well. Like, I really don't, and I don't personally share my own children on social media. I hide their faces. So we're quite particular about that. So we've never had any blowback, really.
On that subject of food, what makes the cut? How do you look at food and go, that's going to make the Instagram? That's not.
Good lighting, usually. But I'm also not afraid. If I'm invited into a restaurant, I'm like, can we move the table? The lighting's
So you go full set on, mate. Dragging the tables.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Revs to Cuba actually have a photo of me on their Instagram where I'm stood on the bench over the table taking the photos that we needed to take.
You're going big time.
Yeah. This is not a meal for you. This is content
this is
creation.
Work.
Yeah.
This is work. Yeah, I'm not afraid to stand on a chair to get that flat lay.
Right. What about if you're with people? Like I think I've seen some kind of like little jokey TikToks or something of like being on a date with a blogger, and it's like a joke, like you're eating while
food.
Yeah.
Oh, they're also used to. My mum occasionally forgets, and I've got to be like, can you stop?
Oh, well, you stop them eating, so you shoot their food.
So I've got to get everything.
Oh, wow.
Especially if we're in on like a collaboration, like I've got to get a bit of everything.
Yeah.
But again, everyone's so used to it. We use it kind of as a social aspect as well. So my friend, we all take it in turns. So one's 1 week and one's the next week and one's the week after. And they're all used to it. And most of them kind of do it themselves as well. Right. Not necessarily Southampton or food, but kind of like a lifestyle aspect. So everyone's very used to, you got to wait and then you can eat your food.
That's so weird.
I would say that's a normal.
It's normal, but it's like compared to like 50 years ago,
Oh, yeah.
We're trying to explain that to someone from the 50s.
I do that though. Yeah. Sometimes I'm that person that takes photos of their food and I just don't send it anywhere. Right. It just doesn't.
Yeah, like,
I just loads of meals. Like when you're on holiday and you snap it all and just fills up your phone.
I saw something the other day with fireworks night. It's like everyone's there with their phones and like you're never going to look at that video again of fireworks. Yeah. Everyone's recording the fireworks, but you're never going to look at that again.
That's very true. That is very true.
In my experience, that I had a bit of stuff with ITV, and there was a rule that said don't shoot fireworks if you're a camera person, because it's the most unique thing, unless it's a special fireworks thing like New Year's Eve. You might as well get some stock footage of fireworks. Literally might get some stock footage, just a random firework explosion and then shove it in. Yeah, you're so right. But no, that's really interesting. Like, so the waiter comes, plops down the food, and then your people you're eating are like, okay, let's hurry up, please, I'm hungry.
And you're like, just hold on.
Literally that. Especially when we do group events. So recently we helped Metrics on their launch, their new food launch, back in July, on their new menu. And we had 12 bloggers and influencers from Southampton and Hampshire come in to experience the cocktails, the venue and the food. And obviously every single one had to do the photo. So we're all like stood there like waiting. Everyone's like, have you got your shot? Have you got your shot? Have you got your shot? And we're like, yeah, right, now everyone can eat now.
What lighting is it? Is it just like phone light, or do you have a ring light that you hold as an accessory?
I prefer natural light.
Oh, okay. So when you say lighting is important, you mean you'll just bring the plate to a window?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, or ask them to move us to a window. Sometimes we get there and the lighting's perfect, but if it's dark or anything, and some restaurants in the evening they can be to kind of like create that ambience, and I'm like, no, I need to go outside.
Yeah, fair. I swear there is a trick to it, because I think some food bloggers or some food accounts will use a light.
Yeah.
I think only Scrans will probably, because all of his food looks so like, it's not just well lit, it's like colourful.
Yeah.
So he ups the saturation on the photo, I imagine. But yeah, I think I've seen some like behind the scenes bits of, people doing this and holding a ring light here.
Yeah,
while
I
they're
just
shooting.
personally don't like artificial light.
Sure.
I just shoot better in natural lighting. My dad's a photographer, so I think I've just kind of like adapted that from him as well. Like Bill's, for example, we shot their summer menu, and they don't reserve outside. I was like, but I really need you to reserve outside.
Yeah. You know who I am.
They were like, no. And they were like, okay, we'll do it on this occasion. But the photos came out and they were like fantastic. The video was fantastic. And I was like, this is why.
Did you have a history of photography then before you started the account?
Yeah, I've had cameras since I was like little. My dad's an ex-motorsport photographer. He used to shoot F1 and MotoGP.
F1, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to talk to Amy after this.
Yeah, we lived in Spain actually. So they moved us. He was going back and forth every weekend. My parents were like, "This is ridiculous." So we moved to Spain, and I used to spend my weekends like with his camera bag, helping him in the pits. So, the camera aspect has always been there. I remember like having my own little camera when I was little. So, yeah.
Did you have to make that switch from DSLRs and detachable lenses to phone? Like, was that awkward?
I do a bit of both.
Oh, okay.
Still, so all my own blog photography is all shot on my Canon.
Mm-hmm. Right.
All my cruise photography again is shot on my DSLR. And then I kind of switch between everything you see in Southampton Bloggers is my phone.
Okay, that's what I thought.
All my videos, everything is my phone. You can tell when I've used a DSLR because it just looks completely different. But I try and keep it consistent throughout. But yeah,
Interesting.
Fascinating.
I still love a camera.
So you've been to Spain,
Yeah.
but what other story can you tell us? What's one story that through your journey, your page was Southampton Bloggers, where you've been like, this has been amazing, or it's been bad, or it's been funny?
I keep going back to cruise ships because we've had like some really good experience with cruise ships. We worked with Virgin Voyages on their launch when they came to the UK a couple of years ago, and that was a lot of fun. We were like the first people on the ship. It was Capital Weekender. They like sponsored. We had Diplo. That was the main headline, and we just got to party on the ship. But it's all because of our pages and what we do. We get some really great experiences.
Well, were you making content with Diplo, or was it just like?
No,
they
he was just for the party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
we had to take photos of the ship. Yeah, and we've done Spitbank Fort. We've been taken out to Spitbank Fort for the day and done each of the forts. I've done loads of different things over the years.
I bet actually that must because it's not just one topic. Even it's just Southampton. It's just the place. Like name any topic within Southampton, and that's what you could potentially shoot. So you must have so many stories. I imagine. Has there ever been something that has made you go, oh, why am I doing this? Like, have you ever gone into a project and kind of found that this is not what you planned or something, you know what I mean? Or anything like that? It's always been quite positive.
we had an issue with a national food brand recently where they wanted us to go in and shoot their new menu item. And that wasn't great. Like what their photos were obviously very different to what we were given on the plate. And that there was a lot of difficulties around that, and we in the end we were just like wiped our hands of it and was like, we can't do this. It's not beneficial for us. Our photo, if we share what we've taken, it's really not going to be beneficial for you. We just kind of need to end the partnership. This isn't going to work.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. Have you ever thought about expanding into other stuff? Like, have you expanded to like a specific topic or going even a wider area? Like, if you were to go on holiday, holiday bloggers, I don't know, whatever it is, like, international content.
Because I do that on my own page anyway, it's quite easy to just stick Southampton Bloggers with Southampton. Occasionally we'll go out a little bit into Hampshire, New Forest. We worked with Chewton Glen in the summer, so that occasionally there'll be a dip into Hampshire. But again, because I do it all on my own stuff. I don't really need to cross it over that much.
Yeah, that's right. Because of course, I don't mean in terms of other towns or anything. Yeah. I just mean in terms of like you know, you've shown that you can do these like natural, I'm just going to turn up and shoot something kind of things in your city. You know, maybe if you were to go on holiday to Portugal or Caribbean islands or something like this, you could do.
There is a page that does that really well.
Okay.
Who focus? They're called Free Course Sisters, and they focus on food in Hampshire. But they travel quite a lot, so they do takeover series. So they were in Ibiza in the summer, and they were in Mallorca, and where else? I think they did a series in Australia as well, because one of the sisters is moving out there. They do it really well on a food basis, but I think for me, because of my own page, I don't need to do the crossover because what we do works. And if there was anything else, I can just chuck it on mine.
Yeah, fair.
Brilliant. Alice, I'm going to come at you with our golden question now.
Oh, okay.
So you've collaborated with a lot of brands and businesses, but if you could choose one, like a golden one to do now, who would you choose and why?
I'd love to do something with Southampton Football Club because we haven't worked with Southampton Football Club.
I was actually going to ask you that.
Yeah.
That's
and I
really
think that would
interesting.
be really, like even on a stadium tour or something, I think a reel on a stadium tour would work really, really well. Maybe I should email them.
Drop them an
and be
email,
like,
yeah.
"Look, this is what we do." That not obviously Southampton. We love football, don't we? And my dad's always been a huge fan of Southampton Football Club as well. So I just think that would just be. What do you think of when you come to Southampton, other than West Quay, I suppose?
Cruise ships and football.
And football.
That's it. Yeah.
That's our like number 3.
Yeah, you're right. And your connections, as you say, you know a lot of people in Southampton. Is it a matter of just saying to someone of a friend, I'd like to add you to my Instagram account and do some content? Or would you need to approach it as a business project and make a proposal to Southampton Football Club's
I usually do a
management?
little pitch.
You do a little pitch?
Yeah,
Okay.
little pitch,
Right.
ready-made pitch.
Okay. So
Change it a bit to make it relevant, and then
Right. So it's not just a DM.
no. No, I try and keep everything. We do get a lot of DMs, but I try and move everything over to email because it's so much easier. And then there's a paper trail. There's you got your email thread, and I don't have to like scroll through and find something on Instagram.
Yes, it's more organised than it sounds like. It's in a good way. It sounds like you know, because of course, if you do just like DMing people, it could get a bit too casual, I suppose, couldn't it? A bit messy.
Yeah.
So good luck with Southampton Football Club. I hope it happens. Yeah.
We will see.
Yeah. Maybe just stumble into the stadium at night as you're walking home or something. I think I did that when I was at uni once. I think me and my mate Adam were just really drunk and we like went through the stadium grounds. I don't know. So it can happen. Consider put work or Southampton Bloggers to one side.
Okay.
Who is your favourite creator or creators just as a fan of social media? In your entire history, like
anyone.
the old days of YouTube, current TikTok, current Twitter accounts, anything.
Okay.
Who is some of your favourite creators? Even if they're currently a celebrity now or whatever. Who are your favourite social media creators?
One would be Demi Colleen. She's London-based, vegan, a vet nurse. She covers a lot of sustainable clothing, activism. She's a really, really great account to follow. She kind of pegged the dopamine dressing that has obviously been in all the magazines the last 6 months. She's been doing that for the last year and a half. She's a really, really great account to follow. And there is, I'm trying to think of the other one as well.
That one you just mentioned,
Demi is excellent.
is it quite serious or does it kind of have a light-hearted edge?
She's quite fun.
Right.
And she does everything in quite a colourful and fun way. But hits topics that obviously we should be absolutely paying attention to. And it just works perfectly. Works perfectly with her account.
Have to
She's
check
a
it
great
out.
one to follow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, send that to us.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Anyone else?
There is one more. Little Paper Swan. She is completely different. She creates different edits for photos. She shares a lot of bacon, almost whimsical. She's like a mum, I suppose like a mum account in a way, but focuses on a lot of seasonal. So it's very much like seasonal bacon in autumn. She's just going into Christmas. And she's another excellent account to follow as well.
Another one for the list.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite questions to ask. Is that I love like learning about random accounts because sometimes it's just random and it's has nothing to do with what you're doing.
And they're great because they're both under 30,000 followers as well.
Right.
Whereas usually people recommend like 100,000 up, don't they?
Yeah.
And they're excellent because they're both under 30k and much more, I feel like much more real, less scripted because there's no management. So
Something we like to do on our podcast is every episode we'll have a creator highlight, and we'll recommend some creator that we've found that week. You know.
Oh, that's great.
And yeah, ideally it's better when they have like 30,000 or less. Or yeah, that's very interesting.
Last question.
Okay.
We ask every single guest when they come on to recommend someone to come on. So, who's your recommendation?
Shalina from Lacus Mammon.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard her before?
Yeah, we know.
We have.
We work with her.
We actually know her. Yeah,
Oh!
we already, we
I love
we made some
Shalina.
content with her. Yeah, she is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I-
Shalina would be a great one.
Have you done Southampton Bloggers stuff with her?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we worked with her I want to say 2018.
Right.
And then we worked alongside her and the Southampton Hospital charity on something in 2019. And Room 2 hotels down at Queen's Park, because they've all got fully equipped kitchens. So it was kind of like showing what you can do in the hotel room. Again, for Southampton Hospital charity and raising money for them. And we're quite good friends as well.
Right.
And we love her restaurant.
Yeah.
I would
her restaurant's
happily live there.
yeah. Yeah, she does have bloody good food.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough to do some work with her when we were working with the Southampton Council for the city culture. And we...
Yeah, because she was quite involved, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, she went to City College and made meals with all the students there.
Oh, yeah,
and
I saw
taught
that,
them how
yeah.
to do it. Yeah, so we're making some content for that. And it honestly, like, I think they were making spring rolls, where it's like a bunch of chopped veg in a little pancake deep fried.
Yeah.
And just because these college students followed her recipe, in like 15 minutes, they made delicious spring rolls. And I tried some, and they were delicious. They didn't know what they were doing. It's just following her recipe. Like,
Yeah.
she is
Yeah,
good
her
stuff.
stuff is great. She's great on TikTok with all her different recipes and that. Another good one would probably be James Egan, that's just headed up the new coffee shop Edison's.
Okay.
And they're estate agents based in Southampton, and then they've just ventured into the coffee shop industry as
Interesting.
well.
Good collab. Good
Yeah,
business
yeah.
collab.
Yeah, because you can put a coffee shop in your building if you're a real estate agent. I'm trying to think.
Apparently so.
Yeah, I guess so. It's clever, actually, isn't it? Yeah, write them down. Let's get those guys
Yeah.
on the podcast. Yeah,
Get them
that's all
down.
good. Yeah, thank you. That's been fascinating us. Thank you so much. Is there anything you wanted to share to the people? Any message you want to say? Anything you want to
I
ask
think
us?
we covered everything quite well. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Well, if people want to check out your account, of course, we'll be tagging it in all the descriptions and stuff. But as I say, it's called Southampton Bloggers, but I've been saying Southampton Bloggers as well because Southampton Bloggers is the
handle. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. What have you got coming up soon at Southampton?
We're at the theatre tonight. We're going to see the Osmonds musical.
Nice.
Yeah. And theatre tomorrow, we're going to see Train Spotting. So complete different ends of the spectrum the next 2 nights.
Trainspotting, like the film.
The film.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Which-
they turn it into a theatre production. So that's at Mast, the one in Guildhall. Yeah.
I can't imagine what that's like.
No, I can't. But I'm really intrigued to see how it's going to play out.
Because that film is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what it's about? Trainspotting.
No.
Have you seen it?
Okay.
Oh, you've got to see it. It's a classic.
It's like it's dark.
These
Yeah.
guys are really into films, and I'm just not.
Yeah, Freddie's seen like no films.
Yeah, I
Really
just-
That's
strange.
usually like me, but
I just
I
watch
have seen
sport.
Train Spotting.
That's all I watch. Sport, don't even like Netflix.
See, we're going to
Nah.
have to get in Southampton Football Club, aren't we?
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, you two need to collab
I
and
have
do
to
like a
take
film
Freddie with
session.
me.
I know.
You can,
Yeah.
you can help me.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Watch your space.
Yeah. Thank you then, Alice.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Been an absolute pleasure. If you liked the sound of what we were chatting about, then we're going to be releasing a new episode every single week of the Shogun social media podcast. So drop us a follow, give us a like, comment down below what you liked or hated about this episode, and we will bring everything back next time. But yeah, for the moment, my name is George. We've just had
Freddie.
and
Alice.
we'll see you next time.
Bye.